So we're kind of in this last week or this last stretch of our OTAs and minicamp. This is much like what we've been doing. Any questions on practice?
Your saying was prove them right a year ago. Do you have a motivation this year?
We don't have a saying yet.
No, nothing? Will you come up with one, or is it?
Yeah, we might, but we still have till training camp, so we'll think of something.
Coach, how has the running back room kind of worked so far? Latavius, how has he kind of adapted to the offense so far as you guys have kind of getting?
Look, you know they're doing well. They're learning the system. Some of the newer players. It's really hard to evaluate when you're not in pads, you're not tackling or running. But he's someone who picks things up quick. So that part of the transition has gone well.
What about Ryan Ransom? What makes him so reliable and consistent on your offensive line?
Well, he's smart. He's talented. I think he's got a real good poise and patience about him in his game. So, you know, he's one of those guys that's pretty steady and extremely smart when it comes to the things that can happen relative to protections or in the run game. He's doing well.
Are you finding it challenging to find new ways to use Alvin in offense?
No, I think, you know, right now we're going through an installation and, you know, a little bit different than when we get into a season relative to game plan. You know, so you're kind of working your way through what we're wanting to install. There's a few things you put in, but as we get closer to the start of the regular season, you know, we'll begin to focus more on specific matchups.
Sean, I know it's hard to evaluate offensive linemen in practices like this, but mentally, how is Eric McCoy handling the install?
Yeah, real good. Real good. He got a lot of work today with the first. We've been rotating, you know, with a lot of these positions, but no, he's someone I think learns well.
I know that you all worked out the rugby player.
Yeah.
How do you evaluate that, given his learning curve is maybe so far behind?
Yeah, it's difficult. Just because, you know, yesterday was the first time he'd ever, you know, in the workout really done anything relative to this sport. But look, we're looking at him for 3 days, you know, as a safety. You know, he's a guy that, you know, the vision would be for special teams, that type of thing. But look, for him, to his credit, you know, he's starting from square one. You know, the first time we get out and stretch today is the first time he stretched, you know, relative to this sport. But he seemed pretty bright yesterday, you know, just picking up the drills we were asking him, you know, to do.
Can you talk about what a positive it is to have Cam Jordan under contract for 3 more years?
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't see, I'm coming off the field, so, but I knew they were working on an extension, and I think that it's much deserved. And, you know, he's someone that has been, you know, extremely productive, and so I think it's, you know, a good thing.
He's always been a very good player, Coach. Do you think he's become an elite player in this league?
Yeah, listen, I don't know. You know, I think when his career is over, we can decide the elite, the great, the good, the very good, the 10s, the 8s. I know he's good enough right now. I'm watching him. You know, I think he's, you know, one of the better defensive ends. You know, run and pass. So I'm glad he's on our team.
What does he kind of bring also just from a personality standpoint? He seems like kind of a heartbeat or leader on this team. I mean, how does that?
He's one of the leaders. Yeah, look, he's. Should we go back to the 11 draft when we took him? I think number one, you know, you lead with your performance and work on the field. He's one of those guys that's in great shape. He trains hard. So I think it starts, you know, with the way he prepares.
I know you like your young receivers, but given their maturity and the fact that you had injury at wide receiver, does it make it even more impressive what Mike Thomas did a year ago, the numbers he put up?
Listen, he's been very consistent, and, you know, he'll be the next one. I'm sure Mickey will be working, and I know that they've probably already begun discussions. You know, I leave that to those guys to handle, but yeah, he's, you know, he competes. He's durable, and, you know, he's someone that enjoys playing.
Coach, what have you seen out of Alizé Mack and the progress he's made?
He's doing well. You know, he'll take a couple good steps forward. He made some plays today, and then all of a sudden he'll have a few mistakes. That, you know, so like a lot of these rookies, you know, it's a transition, a big curve for him. But you know, he made some plays earlier in practice, so he can run well. I think the detail, play to play, relative to what he's doing is something he's working on now.
So what are some of the new things you're learning about Teddy Bridgewater now that he's actually sort of installing and running your offense for the first?
Well, I don't know specifically. I mean, I think it's a process relative to. Look, he's played in the league, and he's been in some of these situations. And in fairness to Teddy, there are certain things that you would begin to build around strength-wise that I think he's exceptional at. And so, look, when you're in a OTA or you're in a minicamp and you have an installation for the masses, but he's extremely bright. I think he's got really good arm talent. He's got a demeanor about him that suits the position well, and I think he's a good leader. So I think the reps he's getting obviously are important, not only for him but for us as a team.
Sean, how do y'all evaluate or coach up the quarterbacks when it's a blitz period that just looks like it would have been a sack, and then they throw, y'all tell them to continue to play?
Well,
or?
in order for us to get the most out of a play, you know, we'll try to finish the play. Obviously, the rush is staying off the quarterback. And look, when you get into a 2-minute drill, it's a little bit more difficult because there is a competitive nature to it. So at times we'll blow the whistle. There are a handful of sacks in the shoot. Our pressure period, I thought defensively looked really good. Offensively, it wasn't what we would have liked. But to try to get the most out of a play, we'll be smart that way.
Coach, obviously with Drew not here, how do you guys kind of adjust practice, or is it a little bit different with him not in the building?
No, we still start at the same time. We're going to still play with, you know, the brown round balls, and we're gonna kick field goals. And look, when you're used to having someone like Drew, who's been here going on year 14, obviously it's different. And yet, look, other guys are getting the work, and you know, his preparation, and there's that part of you that knows he's going to be obviously ready for training camp. But realistically, that's how our season can be sometimes. Hopefully not at that spot, but when you go through injuries, you know, everything keeps moving.
Is there a limited amount you can learn without pads? And how deep into the summer before you maybe have an idea of what you have?
Well, yeah, I think to answer your question, there is a limited amount. You're still evaluating. You can learn a lot about how they learn. You can learn a lot about how they move. But every year since I've been here, there's something about the pads that define certain players that, had it not been for the pads, you might not have seen their talent. So we're slow to evaluate that way, but quick to evaluate if someone has trouble or can't learn.
What are some things that with Latavius, and obviously you mentioned him not being in pads, but what are some of the aspects of his game that you've kind of seen that you're kind of impressed with? And you did mention, I mean,
he's smart. He's smart. He's a guy that I think has good vision, and I think you feel his leadership. I think he's a real good teammate. So you know, we've seen the film, and you get an idea of the things he does well. But those would be the first things that come to my mind.
Sean, you had the rookie class, two big members, Reggie Bush and Marcus Colston, a week ago. You've seen this 2017 heralded class develop. Do you see similarities between the two classes as they've developed a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, their similarity, first off, would be the importance of those classes, the importance of the 06 class relative to what we were able to accomplish in the years to follow a real good draft like that, and I think that same similarity exists in the 17 draft class. I think the unique thing about the 06 draft class is the amount of players. You know, when you have two 7th-round players, you know, playing, 23 years in the NFL, and both, having outstanding careers. that's unique. But hopefully, and we're living it right now. We're all around to be doing the same type of thing with members of that class. But yeah, I think that the significance of when that class was drafted, I'm talking about 17 now, and getting us over the hump, I think that would be the clear comparison for me.
Coach, can you speak on the impact of Joe Brady and what he had on this organization and what you expect for him at LSU?
He number one, came here with some pretty good insight relative to certain elements of the passing game. He's a tremendous worker, and a guy that you could rely on occasionally for some information relative to what a quarterback or a system might be doing. His background relative to the RPO stuff was very good, and also someone who was good to work with and good to have on the staff.
What have you seen early on from Cyrus Grayson, the LSU track star?
Look, he runs well. I think it's just, how quickly can he make that transition? And I know he's been with some other teams, but there's still some elements of, not having had the background or the experience, but I think he's working hard at it. Each day he's made some plays to really get you excited.
Purely as a passer, how has Taysom progressed?
Good. I think he's doing well. I thought he had a good couple good periods today in practice.
What goes into your evaluation of the mix between Alvin and Latavius in terms of what you did last season with Mark and Alvin in comparison?
The evaluation or the plan?
The mix of how much they're on the field.
Yeah, look, we'll have packages for both those guys and probably a third, and we'll balance what we try to do and be mindful of the tendencies so that they're not so steep for either of those players.
Sean, just to follow up on the rugby player trying out, how did that come about? Who pitched that to?
It's too good of a story. I can't tell you.
Oh, no.
If I told you a local artist texts me about this rugby player, here's what you have to understand as the plane flies over. When someone sends you something about a player, obviously that happens a lot. And so if it's a college player, I might forward it to Terry, or to Jeff. If it's a pro player, to Terry. If I don't forward it after a day or two, I'll think, I don't want this to be that, So, on someone's recommendation, and you go about the process every time knowing that, there might be 44 out of 44 where there's nothing to it, but then on the 45th one, there might be Taysom Hill, in a different way. And I'm not making the same comparison. So, it was an email, a text, forwarded on. It's easy to work out a player who's right here, and that was kind of it.
Did anyone go and watch one of his games or get
No,
any of his games?
No, we just started. Yeah. We saw highlight films.
And is it the first rugby player you worked out, as far as you know?
I don't think so. I'm guessing we've worked out others, but recently.
Just watching rugby, did you know what you were watching, or did you understand the game at all?
No. A lot of handoffs. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
You guys should hold tight for a few minutes and then we'll
I don't until something's officially signed. It's all hearsay to me. I'm getting congratulations from fans and players alike, and I haven't signed anything yet. So it's just a leak. It's all just random information thrown together on a timeline somewhere.
Well, if it does happen, what would that mean?
It's important for you to finish up, as I say.
My goal from being drafted here is win a Super Bowl here. My goal is to win a Super Bowl here. My goal will be to win another Super Bowl eventually. I feel that I've always said it. I've always said that New Orleans has become my home. My kids are from New Orleans. I'll be in New Orleans till they decide they don't want me no more. So it's really just a one-way door. I want to be here. I'm going to be here till they kick me out. Then I have to stay here. I don't know. I don't know having plans at this point other than keep working hard and keeping on the same mentality. But I've got 2 years left on my current deal, unless y'all know that apparently there's a leak out here that there's an extension happening and nothing has been signed. So I'm still going to keep working and still being the same person I've always been.
If it does happen, though, what would that mean to you?
Theoretically?
Yeah.
I mean, we might dance tonight. My son's 4th birthday might be a little better today. My daughter turns 1 tomorrow, so somebody's going to have a heck of a birthday. Plus a heck of a birthday. I mean, you know. No, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm fully blessed to be a part of this team, fully blessed to be a part of this organization. When you come in and you get drafted, come from the West Coast, you have this vision of grandeur. My dad played for the Vikings for 13 years. I always said I want to be the same team for the rest of my career. And this gives me an opportunity to extend to however long we go. Theoretically, if there's, because at this point, nothing has been signed.
Yeah, if you do sign, how good is it just to get it out of the way?
So we're declaring it has not been signed. Great,
Right, yeah.
Wonderful, confirmation. I mean that's something you can relax and know that you're wanted in the area. At this point, again, I've always said it's not about being the highest paid player for me. I've got personal goals. At this point, as embedded as I am to this community, as much as I love this place, as much as my family is at home here, uprooting isn't really an option for me. I feel like if I go into the city, I've worked hard to be a part of the city. I want to know exactly what the city has in store, and I've always made that as open as possible. It's not about me. It's not about my family. It's about the collective. So you talk about all my teammates that I've worked hard from learning from Will Smith, John Vilma, having phenomenal teammates like Akeem Hicks, John Jenkins, coming through, watching them do well. It's all about just the process of being here. You talk about bringing in guys like Marcus Davenport, Sheldon Rankins. I've been able to be a part of all of it, except the Super Bowl. So that's what we're headed towards. We got a singular focus. Go ahead, shoot.
Last year, you were one of the guys talking about prove them right. So do you have a slogan for this year yet?
I don't think we have a slogan for this year. At this point, it's the same mentality. Last year, you could feel like, we had to prove everybody that we were that team. I was hoping it was a cargo drop. I was hoping that was going to be my new bag coming down. But that's only in theory after you sign something, right?
Way to play that.
I mean, but when you talk about everything that you want to be in this city again, that's exactly where I want to be.
Cam, I know it's early and you can't see a lot with no hitting, but Marcus Davenport, you see a difference in him?
You saw him last year. I mean, he's freakishly talented, and for him to come in with that right mentality, he wants to get better. He had a little toe issue, a little Toby Bryant situation. Toby Lou's gotten a lot better. And when you talk about just his mental focus, his ability to process plays, when we put pads on, a lot of things are smoothed out and you'll see how great he can be.
But in terms of the comfort level, just being here, you see a difference there?
Absolutely. Hence the mentality check. You have your mind right, you get your body right.
Can't we keep talking about the city kind of being part of this?
What you want me to say? You trying to go to Chipotle? Is that what you want to? Chipotle on me today? No? I'm just I'm just throwing that out there.
I don't really eat Chipotle, so I don't know. We can leave some.
All right.
All
right. Tacos?
The city, though.
West Coast tacos? Crawfish tacos.
Is this,
bring the West Coast to South.
Is this place like somewhere that you kind of feel
at home?
And then...
Yeah, I mean, I bike around here. I go from anywhere from Old Metairie to Uptown. I walk across the street with the fam. Everybody knows me at the grocery store. My familiarity here has been welcomed. at this point, I feel like I am part of the city. Still need the Super Bowl, though.
Cam, lining up on the other side of Latavius Murray, what have you kind of seen from him as he's kind of gone through practices so far?
I mean, you feel like a guy with Latavius Murray's stature. I want to see him in pads. I mean, he's a big, powerful guy, and you see him running downhill a lot. He showed some shiftiness, but at the end of the day, you know, he's going to be a power runner. And I can't wait to go see that on our side.
What was your thoughts this offseason when you seemed like every controversial play was compared to what happened to you guys?
My first thoughts was, dang, I miss my dog, Mark Ingram. But after that, this offseason, I mean, you just got to focus on you. You got to focus on what you can control. Had we took the lead early in that Rams game, and had we continued putting points on the board, had there been some defensive turnovers, had there been more opportunities for us to score more points, we'd never have to look back. You can't let anything ever get close, and when it gets close, now it becomes human opinion. Clearly human error. Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Y'all have a blessed one till this new day.